Yeah, I owned a Wii. One at a time, ladies. This is my Nintendo Wii Game Collection. I owned a Wii from, I believe, 2011 or 2012 to present day. I never not owned a Wii after that point. But yes, it is true that I got my Wii in 2011 or 2012. I actually don't remember, but it was around that time. And that was actually a very late point to get a Wii because the Wii U came out in 2012. But I was still insistent about getting a Wii. I wanted a Wii U as well, but I was like, no, I really want a Wii first. And so I ended up getting a Wii. And these are all the games that I got for it. So let's talk about that. Thought maybe it might be a little fun trip down memory lane, for me at least. Not necessarily for you guys, because this is probably the first time that you guys are hearing about my experiences with these games. But nevertheless, maybe you'll enjoy this video. If you did, that's great. Alright, let's get started here. So, first up, we got Club Penguin Game Day. So these are ordered alphabetically. So, you know, that's the reason why I'm starting with this. I was a big Club Penguin fan back in the day. And I played, you know, the online MMORPG. It's weird to say that Club Penguin was technically an MMORPG, but I think technically that's the genre of game it was, so I will be referring to it as such. But yes, I did play Club Penguin a lot in the day. Thought it was back in the day. I thought it was a very fun time, and so when I found out that they were coming out with games for it on my favorite consoles, also the only consoles I had at the time, the DS and the Wii, I was like, holy crap, I gotta get these games. And so I did. I got the DS games, the Elite Penguin Force games, and then I got the Club Penguin Game Day game on the Wii. So yeah, this game is basically, it's just a mini game collection, essentially. But what was really cool about these games is that I think they were decently fun for you know, technically licensed kids games. I don't know if you could call them licensed. They were, you know, they weren't like the most high quality, but I think considering the fact that they were specifically made to draw attention to this thing right here, you know, Club Penguin, and that was more or less the main inspiration to make this game, I think it came out pretty good. I had a fun time with it with my friends back then. I guess it's a little hard to go back to nowadays because it's a pretty simple game, but it's pretty. I enjoyed it for what it was. I definitely don't regret getting this. And what was cool is that you could transfer the coins that you got in this game into the actual Club Penguin game. That was so freaking cool, and they did that in Elite Penguin Force 2, and I liked it in that game as well. So I did quite enjoy this game. Next, we got Epic Mickey. So Epic Mickey was a really interesting just thing that existed at one point. I think they were trying to, like, you know, market this game as kind of like, whoa, it's this really like cool edgy take on the Disney, like the traditional Disney characters like Mickey and Oswald the Rabbit and whatever, you know, all the old style you know, Disney cartoon characters. They wanted to put them in this really weird edgy paint world or whatever, where Mickey has like this magic paintbrush where he uses the paintbrush to fight the enemies and whatnot. And I think that, you know, they really, that's why it's called Epic Mickey, because they wanted people to be, you know, they wanted people to see this game and be like, whoa, this is epic, I gotta get this game, which is why I got this game. And in reality, it's a pretty simple platform. I actually remember enjoying this game quite a bit. It's a 3D platformer, and you know, platforming games are some of my favorite games, at least. So I was bound to get some enjoyment out of this game. And I definitely did. I definitely enjoyed it for what it was. I don't remember beating the game. I don't think that I ever did. But I did enjoy playing this. And you know, that's really all you can ask for in any video game, I suppose. And you know, this game, I think it did decently well because it got a sequel, Epic Mickey 2: The Power of Two, where the main folk. I mean, like, I think this game was, yeah, it was a single player game, and then the whole thing with Epic Mickey 2 is that it was a multiplayer game. I don't necessarily know if this game was made because Epic Mickey was such a big hit. I mean, I think it was. I can't recall off the top of my head how much it sold, but I think the first Epic Mickey was pretty well received, and so, you know, Epic Mickey 2 was bound to come out, and so it did. And then it was 2-player, and you know, you play as Oswald and help out Mickey and whatnot. And it was more or less, I think it was more or less, you know, more of the same of Epic Mickey 1. But it was still a good time. You know, I remember playing this with some of my friends back in the day, and we got some enjoyment out of it. Never beat it though. I definitely played the first one more than this one, but you know, that was because I mainly had to play by myself. So obviously I was gonna play the single player oriented game more so, but still wasn't a horrible game. Next, we got Lego Batman, the video game. This game right here was my shit. I loved Lego Batman. I love the Lego games in general, but Lego Batman specifically was super fun. I remember playing it on my own with friends. It was so fun. I remember actually I played the DS version more, and a lot of my memories with Lego Batman have to do with the DS version. But I did play this version a lot too. It was very fun time. I mean, it was very like upgrade. It was very much an upgrade to the DS version in a lot of ways. But for whatever, I think it was just because I played my DS more often than the Wii. Probably because one, I had it for longer, and two, it was just easier to kind of pull out my DS and play like a couple levels or whatever, and so it was a little bit more addicting. Whereas this, I had to obviously go out of my way, go to hell and back to play it. No, it's just, I don't know, I just got more playtime out of the DS version, but I did quite enjoy the Lego Batman video game. I feel like a lot of people have experiences with positive experiences with Lego Batman, and I'm not an exception to that rule, I guess. Next we got Mario Kart Wii. You ever heard of this game? I bet you haven't. It's kind of niche. Mario Kart Wii is a game that a lot of people probably own. This is I believe, the highest selling or top selling game on the Wii. I would be surprised if it wasn't. Everyone and their moms have played this game. Like, it's Mario Kart Wii. What else more is there to say? It defined, you know, the couch co-op racing fun, you know, lighthearted racing game genre, if you can even call that a genre. It's kind of a genre, I guess. But yeah, it was a juggernaut, even, I would say. You know, I think almost everyone on the planet, not everyone has played like certain other Mario Kart games. Like, not, you can't just go up to anyone on the street and ask like, hey, have you played Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS? Not everyone's gonna say yes. Everyone has played Mario Kart Wii. I have yet to meet a person that has never even heard of Mario Kart Wii, at least heard of it, if not played it. It's a super fun game. I remember getting a good amount of playtime out of this. I think this actually came with my Wii. I think the Wii bundle that I ended up getting was the Mario Kart Wii black Wii bundle that came with this and a black Wii wheel. And you know, like I said, I got a lot of playtime out of this. Yeah, it's Mario Kart Wii. Again, what more else is there to say? Another game that I got a lot of playtime out of, New Super Mario Bros. Wii. So, you know, the New Super Mario Bros. Series is kind of polarizing with people. You know, there's a lot of people who think these games got pretty stale. There's a lot of people that think they got stale by this point. I'm not one of those people. I love New Super Mario Bros. I love the series in general. I haven't not enjoyed a New Super Mario Bros. Game. Even the later ones, like New Super Mario Bros. U, specifically New Super Mario Bros. U. I loved that game. I never really got why so many people didn't like it. I mean, I know that all these games are really similar, but I love, like, I think they're good. Like, this is the thing, is that they're similar, but they're good. So it's a good thing that they're similar, because they're all good games. I don't know, like, I'm a little heated. We're talking about New Super Mario Bros. Wii. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, I remember watching Let's Plays of it and just thinking, man, I want this game. I remember specifically there was a kiosk. I believe it was either Walmart or Target, that had this little kiosk where you could. This was way back when, but you could go to Walmart or Target and play like one level off of this game. I think it was just the first level, but you could play like a little demo version of this game. And I remember going to that store. Whenever I would go there with my mom, I would beg her to let me go to the electronics section so I could just play that level over and over. I don't know why. I don't know why I was so obsessed with this game, but I was. I just wanted to get it. I finally got it. I played through it. I loved it. I love this game. It's really fun. It's a great multiplayer experience too. I loved playing through it. I remember playing through it with my friends, or at least one of my friends specifically. But, you know, we would on rare occasions get more than I would get like at least a group of 3, maybe a group of 4 people to play it. It was super fun. Even if you're not great at Mario games, it's a fun time. It's a fun time to play this with friends and like screw around, screw with each other. You know, it's a fun time. It's multiplayer fun. I feel like that's probably even a blurb. Yeah, 4-player action. It's 4-player action. What? It's great. It's a good game. Next, we got Pikmin 2. So, fun fact, I've never actually played Pikmin 1. I've only ever played Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 3. I don't feel like I'm missing out on much because from my understanding, all the Pikmin games, they play pretty similarly. And as far as I know, Pikmin 3 is regarded as the best in the series. And I've played that one, so I don't feel like I'm missing out too much. But yeah, no, never played Pikmin 1, but I have played Pikmin 2. I never beat this game, but I've played through a good amount of it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this game. I definitely, the Pikmin series in general, I get a lot of enjoyment out of those games. But Pikmin 3 is definitely my favorite still. But Pikmin 2, definitely there's a lot to like about this game. And I mean, hell, it was a Nintendo Select for a reason. But yeah, no, and specifically, I gotta say the controls of the Pikmin series with the Wii remote and nunchuck controls are so good. They're so like intuitive. They just make sense, and it just works for this series. And it's a little hard to stomach playing Pikmin games on like the Switch, just because it just doesn't feel as good. But it still feels pretty good. The Pikmin series in general, it's hard to not enjoy even a little bit. So definitely got a good amount of enjoyment out of Pikmin 2. Oh man, Pokepark Wii. What can I say about Pokepark Wii? So I'm a big Pokemon fan. Anyone that knows me probably knows that. And I remember this is another game that I watched a lot of like Let's Plays on YouTube before I got it. And I remember watching this one specific Let's Play that just made the game look so fun. And maybe it was just because I was a dumb like 9-year-old or whatever. But I was just like, man, they need this game. I ended up getting it, and I loved it. I loved this game. This game, I don't think it's regarded as like a super great Pokemon game or Pokemon spin-off, whatever. It's an action. It's like, I don't even know. It's like an adventure game kind of, but it's a lot of like your main goal is to like make friends, but like it's just cool. You play as Pikachu. I feel like a lot of people already know about this game. I'm gonna explain it anyway. You play as Pikachu. You walk around this huge Pokemon inhabited world, and you talk to all these Pokemon. You become friends with them. You can battle them. That was one of the coolest things about this game, was that you can battle these Pokemon. You're literally playing as the Pokemon when you're battling. Granted, you can only play as Pikachu, but still, it was awesome. You can use Thunderbolt and Quick Attack and the Iron Tail and all those. It's awesome. It's so cool. I'm sorry. I'm talking so. Like, I'm fumbling all my words, but I'm doing it on purpose because I can't express how much I love Pokepark Wii. That's how I'm expressing to you that I love Pokepark Wii, by stumbling over my words apparently. But yeah, no, I enjoyed this game. I remember playing it with my friends, not recently, but like within the last 5 years, just because we had so much nostalgia for it, and we wanted to see like how far in the game we could get, just playing it on a whim. And we did not get super far because I think we realized, hey, we're not 10 or 9 years old anymore, and this game is a little too simplistic for us now. But it was just a fun time to go back to, because it was just a nostalgia trip, and who doesn't love nostalgia trips, you know what I mean? I like Pokepark Wii. I don't know if I made that clear enough. Anyway, so Pokepark Wii was a great time. Pokepark 2, I really wanted Pokepark 2. When I heard that they were making a sequel to Pokepark 1, I was so excited. I knew there was going to be a bunch of new Pokemon. You could play not as just Pikachu this time, but as Oshawott and Tepig and Snivy as well. And I was like, holy crap, that's game changing. That's amazing. That's awesome. I'm gonna be honest about Pokepark 2. I don't enjoy it as much as Pokepark 1. I think there's just a charm to the first Pokepark game that this game just does not have, unfortunately. I hate to say that because in my heart, deep down in my heart, I want this game to be better. I want this game to be superior to Pokepark Wii, because in a lot of ways it kind of is. You get more Pokemon to play with, you get more Pokemon to befriend, you get more varied areas, I'd say. You get more ways to become friends with Pokemon, but they did a lot with this game that I don't really agree with. Like, okay, I don't know why. I just feel like the first Pokemon was a lot more memorable in a lot of ways. There was more. It just felt like there was more to do, almost like more. It was more exciting to play through. I don't know how to exactly explain it. One thing about the first Pokepark, there was these things in the game called attractions, and those are basically like mini games within the game. So like you're walking around in these worlds, and you can meet like these Pokemon that I forget what they're called. They're like attraction bosses or whatever, and you go to them and you're like, hey, I want to play this attraction, and then you play it, and it's like a little mini game. They weren't that complex, but they were still a fun little thing to do, and a lot of them were similar. I remember that a lot of them were like, oh, run to the other side or swing on these vines or whatever. A lot of them were really similar, but they were still really fun. This game, and not to mention that there were so many. There was like 20 attractions in that game, right? This game, there's only four attractions. I don't understand why they didn't include more or as many, if not more, than the first game. They only have 4. You only play 4 attractions in the whole game as part of the story, and there's no like post game or whatever. It's just 4 attractions and you're done. And I don't understand that. I never understood that. And that was one of my big gripes with this game that I remember. Other than that, I just think Pokepark Wii, I just think it's just more memorable in a lot of ways. I don't know. This game, I don't want to say it disappointed me, but it kind of did. I'm going to be honest. I know, it was a little controversial opinion, but that's how I feel. I'm tired of acting like I don't feel that way. Oh, goodness, I just dropped a bunch of games. All right, that's fine. All right, moving on. We got Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. So if you owned a Wii in 2010 to 2011, you know what this game is. Even if you didn't own a Wii, if you just were you were cognizant of gaming culture at all, you know what Skylanders is. Skylanders essentially started a whole movement, the Toys to Life movement. There was already sort of I think there was always a fascination with like including real life elements into video games, or like somehow tying, real life things, real life objects into like, gaming and video game experiences. I think that's as far as like, Rob the Robot from the NES, or, as more recent as like the DK Bongos from Donkey Konga and those games. And there was always a fascination with like you're doing something in real life that affects the game that you're playing. There was always something like that. This is where I think it really like hit home for a lot of people. It was this specific series. Now, granted, I don't think the Toys to Life phenomenon, if you will, lasted as long as probably companies wanted, because these games, okay, in general, these games were okay for the most part. Skylanders specifically, I remember really enjoying. There was a great cast of characters. It was a fun, high quality game for kids, and I liked it a lot for that. These games, they were just raking in cash, because not only are you getting the game, which you have to get in a pack. You have to get the game in a pack, because here's the thing about this game. You can't play it without the figures. You need to have at least one figure to play through the game. It's not even... So you have to get the game with at least 3 figures. The game always came with 3 figures, from what I remember. That alone, 3 figures, and then like the portal, and then like... I think that was the main components. And then there was like, things to hook up to the portal that you put the figures on, whatever. That alone, I think, cost like upward of $100. That alone, just for that component of this game. And then there's the fact that there's like 30 plus Skylanders in total, each of which would cost normally around like $7 or $8 at retail. So what, you're looking at like $200 in over $200 in figures alone for this game, and then you're paying $100 for the game itself with 3 other figures. It's insane, and so many people bought into it, including myself. Obviously, look at me. I'm not any better than anyone else. But you know what? I do not regret getting this game in the slightest, because I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was a fun time, and I got a lot of these figures, and it definitely improves the experience when you get a lot of the figures. I'm not gonna lie, like it's by design. Like they wanted you to go out, they wanted kids to beg their parents to buy them more figures because they were like, I gotta get this. Well, okay, this was he was in the starter pack. I gotta get the lava guy. I need the lava guy to have fun, Mom. You don't understand. Like, it's so, I need this freaking tree stump bitch. I need him to have fun. You don't understand, Mom. You don't understand my please. Anyway, yeah, I like Skylanders a good amount. Alright, moving on. We got Skylanders Giants. Everything that I said about Skylanders Spyro's Adventure applies to this game. Mainly the only thing that changed between Skylanders and this game was that they added giant figures. And I did get quite a bit of the giant figures. That's the main difference. I mean, like, there's not much more to comment about this game. I actually kind of prefer the first one just because I feel like there was more to do in the first one from what I remember. I felt like the adventure in this game was a little shorter, and I was not the biggest fan about that. Yeah, no, there's like over 45 Skylanders now in this game. What was cool about this game is that all of your progress from the first game, like all of the figures that you had from the first game could be used in this game, along with the new ones, which I thought was really cool. I mean, it's not, I feel like it's not that hard to like implement that into this type of game, but it was still really cool. It was a novelty because it's like you don't have to go out and buy a shit ton more figures to have fun with this game. Granted, there was still a starter pack that probably costed upwards of $100, but that still, my point is that this game, you know, there's a lot to offer in this game. Still prefer the first one a little bit, but that's okay. Still enjoyed this game. Definitely got my money's worth, even though I didn't buy that game. Definitely got my money's worth out of it. Moving on, we got Sonic and the Secret Rings. So on the contrary of games that I did not get my money's worth, so this game is a little polarizing. I mean, a lot of Sonic games are, but this game specifically, it's a Sonic game. You can't deny that. I mean, Sonic, he's right there. But the thing about this game is that it was so. I remember I wasn't a huge Sonic fan at the time when I first got this game. I just remember, I think my mom got it for me because she was like, oh yeah, Sonic's a fun character. Antonio will probably like this. And so she got it for me. And I remember playing it, and I wasn't a huge Sonic fan. And this game was not turning me into a Sonic fan. I remember just playing it and being like, this is not fun to play. And I had very little, if anything, to compare it to. Because I never had really played a Sonic game before. So it was a little, I don't know, like I was just like, if this was what Sonic's like, I don't know if I like Sonic. I think my only experience with Sonic was like his inclusion in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which is a game I will get to soon. But yeah, I did not enjoy this game a whole lot. I'm gonna be honest, and I don't think I'm alone with that. I think there's a lot of people that didn't quite enjoy this game. I don't really know what it was. I think that like it's just weird because it was developed by Sega. I get one of these companies just kind of screwed up here, but it just didn't play like a fun Sonic game. And there are other Sonic games on the Wii, two of which I'm about to talk about, that definitely played a lot better than this one. I just don't feel like, I don't know, it did not hit home for me, this game. I don't know. I don't even remember playing much of it. Like, I wish I had more to comment about this game, but at the same time, I don't wish that I had more to comment about this game because I don't really want to be talking about this game anymore. I want to move on to the next game, actually, and that is Sonic Colors. So Sonic Colors is a Sonic game that I quite enjoyed. I got Sonic and the Secret Rings first, and I played that one. Wasn't a big fan. Got this game. I saw the appeal. I saw the appeal of Sonic. I enjoyed this game quite a bit. I don't think it's as great as a lot of people make it out to be, but that doesn't change the fact that it's a good game. At its core, this is a good Sonic game. I wholeheartedly believe that. I think Sonic was in a weird place when this came out. Like, I feel like all the Sonic games that were coming out were very hit or miss. I mean, I don't feel like that's a polarizing opinion, but I feel like this game, like, they had a very good balance of just material in this game, for lack of a better way of putting it. It was just a very well polished experience. It was, it was fast. It was fast paced. You had cool power ups. These like Wisps characters. Interesting premise. Interesting setting. The whole intergalactic amusement park. There was a lot to this game that was enjoyable, which is why I think they brought back the wisps in other games, which didn't really quite make sense because they only really make sense in the context of this game if you really think about it. But still, good game. I quite enjoyed Sonic Colors for the Wii. Moving on, we have the most recent Switch game, or not Switch game, Wii game that I have added to my collection, Sonic Unleashed. So you may be thinking, why did I decide to get this game? Well, I saw this at a thrift store, or not a thrift store, it was a used game store. And I remember always kind of thinking, it'd be cool to try out Sonic Unleashed one day. And then I found it at a used game store, and I was like, huh, maybe this is my chance to get Sonic Unleashed. And it was only like $10, I think. So I was like, hey, you know what? For like an old Wii game that no one really wants, that's not bad. And I've heard good things about Sonic Unleashed, so I was like, you know what? Might as well. So I did, and I popped it in, and I played it for like 20 minutes, and I was like, huh, this is definitely a Sonic game. And then I stopped playing, and I just said I was gonna play it more later. What I would come to realize is that apparently, supposedly, this is the worst version of Sonic Unleashed, which, in a sense, I don't care about that much. I don't really know why yet. Like I said, I have not played much of this game yet, but I intend to, because I hear that as much as people hated on this game when it first came out, I feel like there's a lot of people that look back on it with a lot of fondness, and I want to see what all that fondness. I want to see, I want justification for that fondness. So I don't necessarily know if this version of the game, if the Wii version of this game specifically, is going to allow me to see that, but we'll never know if we don't try, right? So one day I will play this game, but right now I just kind of enjoy the novelty of owning it. Next, we got Super Mario Galaxy 2. So here's another fun fact about me. I have never actually owned the Wii version of Super Mario Galaxy 1, which you might think is kind of weird, because why on earth would I have Super Mario Galaxy 2 but not Super Mario Galaxy 1? Here's the thing. I have played through the entirety of Super Mario Galaxy 1 from the Super Mario 3D All-Stars pack on the Switch. That's right. My first time ever playing Super Mario Galaxy 1 was on the Switch with not the Wii controls, which you may think is a little weird, because it kind of is, I guess. But I did play through the entirety of this game first, and in my opinion, I think the two Mario Galaxy games, they're very independent of each other. Independent of each other. As in, you can play through this whole game, which I did. You can play through this whole game without ever playing the first one and still understand it and have fun with it and not be confused as to what's going on. And that's why I really like this game. In fact, I think I like this better than the original. Now, granted, if I had played the original on the Wii and experienced it in that way, and then I played this one, maybe I would have more fondness for the original. But I feel like this game has a lot that the other game just didn't have, because I feel like Super Mario Galaxy 2 takes what Super Mario Galaxy 1 did and just improves upon it. Almost like it's almost like Super Mario Galaxy with DLC, which I think is almost what it was going to be, in a funny way. Like, I think that's the backstory with this game. But nevertheless, like, I feel like it's just, in a lot of ways, it's better than the first one, personally. Now, the first one that's not saying a lot in terms of, like, that. I'm not even saying that the first one's bad, because the first one is incredible. Even playing it on the Switch, I was like, I can see why this game is so many people's, like, favorite Mario game, or just favorite game in general, because it's an amazing Mario game. But that just goes to show you, like, how great I think this game is, because I think that this game is better, even though I think the other one is amazing as well. So it just really shows the quality of these games in general, I guess. But I really enjoyed Super Mario Galaxy 2. Like I said, I'm a big platformer guy. I'm a big Mario fan. So it was not hard for me to like this game. I don't think I ever 100% completed it. I think I got like 120 stars, maybe some of the, like, bonus ones, because I think there's like 240 in total in this game. I think I probably got to maybe 150 or 170 around that range, and then I stopped playing. But maybe one day I'll go back and complete it finally. Next, we got Super Paper Mario, another somewhat polarizing Mario game, or just game in general, on the Wii. So, here's the thing about Super Paper Mario. I think this was the first Paper Mario game I ever played, which very much impacts, I think, my impressions of it, because I didn't know what Paper Mario as a series was before this game. Because all I knew, and I think all that like my mom knew when she got this game for me, or whoever got this game for me, I think all they knew is that Mario is a wholesome character, and I think they knew that I liked Mario. And I think when they saw this game, it was like, oh, that looks like a Mario game. There you go. Like, you know, and I was thankful for that, because I do very much like Mario. I didn't know what Super Paper Mario meant. I didn't know what this collection of words meant at the time. But I was just like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. And I remember playing it, and I loved this game. I loved it. I loved it so much. I was like, this is so fun. It's like a platformer, but then you got like these really cool bosses that you don't typically see in, you know, traditional Mario games. There's some RPG elements. I was already a Pokemon fan at the time, so I enjoyed RPGs to an extent. You got to play as Peach and Bowser and all these varied characters. You could like turn the 2D plane into 3D. I was like, holy crap, this is the future. I love this game. Like I just thought this game was really cool. And then I played the original Paper Mario, you know, years afterwards, and I was like, you know what? This is a really cool Mario game too. And I kind of see why people wanted Paper Mario to go back to that style. But I still like even with that, I still think that there's a lot to love about this game. I don't think that this is a bad Paper Mario game by any means. Is it different from the old ones, from the old traditional traditional RPG style ones? Totally, it's totally different, but I think that's what makes it so special. Like it's different in a good way. It's not different like Sticker Star. It's different in a good way, and that's why I enjoy it. So I quite like Super Paper Mario. Next we have, oh man, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I think I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think this is my favorite Wii game of all time. Yeah, no, I loved this game so much. I cannot express that enough. I don't think any amount of things that I can say about this game, no matter how much I praise this game, it can even begin to describe how much I appreciate this game for what it did for my just impressions of gaming in general. And now here's the thing. The funny thing about this game is that the only reason I got it was because I knew Mario and Pikachu. I didn't know who any of these other motherfuckers were. All right, excuse my language. Well, I mean, I knew that this guy was a Pokemon trainer, sure. I kind of knew, like, I knew Peach, I knew Kirby, whatever. Yeah, sure. I knew Link a little bit, but like overall, I wasn't super aware of who these other characters were, right? Because all I knew was Mario and Pikachu. That's all I knew. But I got this game regardless because I was like, huh, that looks kind of interesting. I popped into the Wii and I was in. I was just completely invested in this game. You know, I played through like the story mode with the Subspace Emissary, which is amazing campaign. There's some problems with it, but overall, so enjoyable. I love platforming, like I've said multiple times, so it was fun. It was basically a platforming game, or basically a platforming adventure mode, so it wasn't hard for me to like it for that reason. But overall, I just really enjoyed Super Smash Bros. And it just introduced me to all of these other gaming characters. Because there's so many characters in the game. Obviously, Smash Bros. Ultimate has over double the amount. But there were so many characters in the game. I was floored. I was like, holy crap, I can play Sonic, or Snake, or Wario, or Link, or Kirby, or Peach, or Zelda, or all these characters. I was like, holy crap, this is a perfect game. And there's so much content in this game, other than the story mode and the battle mode. Like, there's so much to do. There's so much to collect, so many trophies to look at. The music is great. The visuals are good. Like, they're a little, dark and sort of edgy looking, but I think that like I like that as a small, like, 10-year-old or 11-year-old, however old I was when I got this. I enjoyed that. I liked it. I appreciated that. This game, man, I'm so glad that I got this game and that I got to play it, and I remember having such a great time with friends. Smash Brothers as a franchise is one of the greats out there, and I'm always going to have a super strong affinity for this game. So, probably, yeah, definitely my favorite Wii game of all time. Next, we got Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. So, I don't know if you guys know this. I'm not like the biggest Zelda fan. I think that the Zelda franchise is incredible. I think that there is a lot to appreciate. I acknowledge how iconic the Zelda franchise is. Never was really able to get into it though. I remember playing a little bit of this game, and I don't know what it was. I just don't think I was into it a whole lot. I don't think I knew a whole lot about what Zelda was at the time, so I wasn't like super invested in what was going on. And I never even really got past the first area, I remember, in this game. I just wasn't... I think I got to the point where he turned into a wolf, and then that was about it. I don't think I really got much further than that. Which is unfortunate because I hear that this is actually like a pretty good Zelda game. Like, as much as I remember, I don't think a lot of people hold it in the highest regard in comparison to other Zelda games, but I still think, like, I know that a lot of people love this game, and I want to give it a chance because I know it deserves it. I'm not as invested in the Zelda franchises as I wish I was, and that's just I'm just gonna be honest. Maybe if I someday get the Wii U version, because I know that the Wii U version, ditches the motion controls, which I think was some people's problem with this game. Maybe that was partially my problem with it. I honestly don't remember. But maybe one day, if I get that version of the game, I'll end up playing it. Who knows? But overall, like, I know that this is a good game. I want to play it someday, but today is not that day, unfortunately. Today I'm talking about playing it. Finally, we have Wii Sports. It's Wii Sports. What do you want me to say? I'm not even going to say anything else. That's my Wii Game Collection, guys. Thank you guys for watching. No, actually, no. This video is not over yet because guys, I want to talk about 4 more games that I don't have here, because I want to really quick include my GameCube game collection into this video. Right here, we have the only 4 GameCube games that I've ever owned up to this point when I'm filming this. But maybe I'll get more later on, but I want to talk about these because these are I consider them to be part of my Wii game collection in a sense. So we're going to go through and talk about this. So consider this to be a little bonus, sort of segment to this video, because I am done talking about my Wii games, but I just wanted to throw this in really quick. So first we got Animal Crossing. So the original Animal Crossing. I love the Animal Crossing franchise. I remember at the point when I got this game, now you might notice one thing about this game is that it's very clearly the GameCube box art printed out onto a Wii box. It's mainly because I got this at a used game store, and this is all that they had. I don't know. I never understood why this ever happens. Like, why there ends up... I mean, maybe this was printed out. I think this was printed out. I don't think that this was, like, original GameCube box art. Yeah, this was definitely printed out. Now I'm looking at it closer. This is not, like, original GameCube, like, box packaging quality. This was definitely printed out onto a piece of paper and then put into a Wii game case. But I never, like, I don't know. I wish I had the original box. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, I don't have the original box, but that's okay because this game is still really good. I loved the Animal Crossing franchise. I remember when I got this game, I had played New Leaf. New Leaf was my introduction to the Animal Crossing series, and I love New Leaf. And when I saw that they were selling this game at a used game store, I was like, I gotta try out the original. I gotta get the original, gotta try it out. And I did. And one thing I will say is that they have gone so far. They have improved the series so much since this game. With New Leaf and New Horizons. There's so many things about those games that improve upon this one. And you may interpret that like I'm saying this game is bad, but that's not at all what I'm saying, because this game is still amazing for a GameCube game, for like an early 2000s GameCube game. This is still awesome. This was almost going to be on the N64, I think, actually. Yeah, this is a great GameCube game. It's super fun. It's super atmospheric. It's just a great, like, comfort game. And I think that's why I love the Animal Crossing franchise. You gotta have those comfort games sometimes to balance out the more, like, the games that just have more stuff going on. Because this game is it's so comfy. It's so comfy to just pop in and just walk around your town, talk to your villagers, do some chores. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't sound fun when you describe it that way, but, like, it is. It just is. And I think everyone should try out Animal Crossing at some point. Next, we got Mario Kart Double Dash. So I think I'm confident in saying that this is my favorite Mario Kart game. This is also the first... Well, okay, no, this is not the first Mario Kart game I've ever got, but this is actually the first GameCube game I ever got. And I love this game so much. I played this. I want to say I played this more than Mario Kart Wii, but I don't think that's true. Because if not only because Mario Kart Wii was easier for me to play multiplayer, just because, you know, you just pop it in and it was, I don't know, it was a Wii game. It was a Wii game being played on a Wii. I never owned a GameCube. I only ever owned a Wii and played GameCube games on it. And it was just more convenient to play Wii with other people because other people had Wiis. Other people had played Mario Kart Wii before, so it was just easier to play that with people than this. But I loved this game so much. There's just a lot about this game that it makes it so different from like more modern Mario Kart games. I mean, obviously there's the fact that you got 2 people on one cart. That's obviously one thing, but I feel like the item balancing, the tracks, the physics, like a lot about this game just like really, it just feels fun. Like I feel like you need to experience it for yourself. You need to you sit down, experience this Mario Kart game to really understand why it's so fun. Even now, I think that this Mario Kart game specifically holds up I think it holds up the best besides Mario Kart 8. Like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is no doubt, in my mind, the definitive Mario Kart experience. Like, you gotta play Mario Kart 8 anytime you want to play Mario Kart. Unless you like want the novelty of playing an older one. But this one is just as fun as that one. And I wholeheartedly believe that. And I don't know what else to say. Like, it looks good for a GameCube game. That's one thing that I really appreciate. Like I said, like there's really fun. Like the courses are good. I like almost all of the courses in this game except for Baby Park. Yeah, it's a super fun Mario Kart game, and I'm really glad that I own it. Second to last, we got Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. So I unfortunately do not own what was the other one? Pokemon Colosseum, which is the prequel to this game. Technically the first one. This is the sequel to Pokemon Colosseum. I wish I owned that one because I feel like it's easier to, I was about to say easier to stomach this game after you've played the first one. Not that this one is hard to stomach though. This is a good Pokemon game. This is a really unique Pokemon game. I actually really appreciate how different this game is from other Pokemon games because it's so interesting to me that Pokemon had such an interesting just setup for Pokemon games, and then they just never really did something like this again. I mean, I know that obviously we have like 3D Pokemon games, so there's no novelty in making a 3D Pokemon game that's different from the norm because you can just make the main series games like this. Because this one, it's technically not a main series game, which I always found weird about this game because it plays like a main series game, but there's so much about this game that makes it different from the traditional main series games, obviously. I mean, first of all, it was on the GameCube at the time, when every Pokemon game was on handheld consoles. So that alone made it such a different, and it plays, like I said, it plays like a traditional Pokemon RPG. But there's just a lot about this game. The setup for the story is cool. I like the characters. The music is good. I like the fact that there's a limited Pokemon roster because it forces you to be more creative in your team building and not just use the ones that you like, because you got to work with the options that it gives you. And I really like that about this game. And I think that from what I can tell, they improved upon Colosseum a lot with this game specifically. And I hope to one day play Pokemon Colosseum as well, because I know that game is also very fun. But I'm just super glad that I ended up getting this game either way. And finally, everyone knows this game. It's Super Smash Bros. Melee. This is the definitive GameCube title. If you know what a GameCube is, you know what Super Smash Bros. Melee is. Hell, you might not even know what GameCube is. You might just know about this game because this is still this is held in high regard as one of the best just games, like fighting games in general. And, people still play it to this day, even though Ultimate is, in my opinion, better. People still play this game, and for good reason. I feel I sound like I'm hating on this game. I'm not hating on this game. I know how good this game is. I played it. Obviously, I own it. But I don't know, man. I think that there's a little bit too too, like, this game is a little overrated, a little bit. It's still a great game. Smash Brothers as a franchise is an amazing franchise. I think I'm more biased to Brawl, but I realize I played this one quite a bit. I remember when one of my friends had it, and we would go over to his house and play it all the time because it was so fun. But even then, like, I think Brawl is still always going to be my favorite Smash Brothers game. Even in comparison to Ultimate, I know. Maybe it's just nostalgia, I don't know. But overall, I know how good of a game this is, and I acknowledge that it's a good game. It is a good game. This is an incredible Smash Brothers game, and an incredible GameCube game, an incredible game in general. And this, I feel like this is when Smash Brothers really understood what it was, like, as a franchise. I mean, obviously, this was the second game in the series, but I think that that's also what makes it so interesting, because the difference between the first Smash Brothers game and this game, to me, is like night and day, because this one just improves upon the Smash Brothers formula so well in comparison to the first game. Like, the first game was very much like growing pains, you know? This game is like, it hit puberty, and puberty hit it well. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, it's just a really good game. It's a really good package. And when I saw it at another used game store, I was like, I gotta pick it up. It's an iconic game. It's an iconic Smash Brothers. It's an iconic Nintendo game. And I'm really glad that I own it. Like I've said with all of the games so far. Yeah. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my Wii Game Collection, and my subsequent GameCube game collection. Hope you guys enjoyed me talking for however long I talked. I don't know, because I cut the camera once, and I don't know how long this video is going to be. All that I know is that I spit on my camera a lot while I was filming this.